What's happening, everybody? I have been, where did I put them? I've been messing with some of my coins. If you guys follow me, you probably already know that. Ooh, I'm getting old. Um, so, for those of you that enjoy coin collecting, like I do, I've decided to sell a lot of my coins. My kids have no interest in them, and I just don't. I have so many. I just don't know why I'm keeping them. Um, so if you're a coin collector, you already know. If you're a coin collector that's been doing it for a little while, you already know that errors are always the most, I guess, valuable and interesting because they're errors. They're usually, well, they're errors from the mint that weren't supposed to leave the mint. That's basically how you can describe errors. Um, I met a guy that um, worked. I think his name is Z Man or something. Nice guy. His daughter owns a shop in St. Augustine now. He lives in the county I live in, or maybe a county north. But I met him at a booth that he was running, and he told me a story, and he showed me the cover of his magazine, or he showed me the cover of a magazine where his story was featured in the coin magazine, like Coin World or some big coin magazine. Some guy walked into the flea market that he had a booth at um, with four um, copper 1943 pennies. You guys have all heard the story probably. And the first thing he said was, "Oh, these are fake, obviously." And the guy said, "No, they're not fake. My dad worked at the mint, and he had a bunch of stuff in a cigar box after he died," or something like that. So this guy Z-Man, still, I don't know if he was convinced yet because that's a big deal, and there's a lot of counterfeit stuff like that. Um, I don't know why I'm telling you guys this whole story, but and they were just like bouncing around in a cigar box for 50 years. So had them graded, and they were actual real copper pennies that were 1943 that were supposed to be steel. And the guy that owned them gave him one as a present. So that was a pretty cool story. So this guy Z Man got probably the least valuable one, which is still fine. It was like probably $400,000. I don't think the other one was like 700, and I don't know all the details, but they were very valuable. Anyways, I'm going through my coins and I'm finding some errors that I forgot about. Like this one here is a 1918. It's in really rough shape, but if you look at the back of it, it's blank. So this is the same coin I just showed you. Now, there's a chance, I guess, a 50-50 chance, or maybe even uh, the odds that it's been altered are probably greater than the fact that it left the mint like this. But as far as I'm concerned, it left the mint like this, and there's ways to tell. I haven't I haven't done anything with it. I don't have a scale that can go down that low, but I was going to take it to my local coin shop. But now I think I'm just going to set up an NGC account because I have so many coins I want to try to have graded. eBay's not really going to work for me unless I'm selling graded coins, and I never graded coins because they were always $25 to grade. Even if you did it in bulk, or if you did it in bulk, it goes down to $25. But anyways, this could be a real error coin. And the reason I talked about a scale is I think the way they would know if it was filed down, if it weighs what it's supposed to weigh, then it left the mint like that. I think, my guess. If it weighs like, if it doesn't weigh what it's supposed to weigh, that means somebody tried to grind it down and, I don't know, just make an error or something. Anyways, that's one that I'm going to try to have graded. This is another one. I think I have another video of this one. So this is either a somebody dipped this in solder or silver or steel or zinc. The reason I think it's kind of odd is because it's a 1944. So it goes back to my story from before. Somebody screwed up at the mint. They used copper instead of steel when they were supposed to use steel, and they let a handful of them get out. Well, that was because of they needed the copper for the shell casings for World War II. So they were making steel pennies. So when they went from 43 to 44, they went back to copper. So this could be leftover steel. And if you look at, I don't want to take it out of the square thing. It's in my other video, maybe. I don't want to take it out of the square thing, but if you can't really see it, I don't think. But if you look at the edge, let me see if I could do it without taking it out. If you look at the edge, it's not a really great angle, but it looks like if somebody dipped it into liquid metal, in my opinion, that whole rim, I say edge, the rim would be coated in whatever metal that is. But to me, that looks like it's mixed in, like it's part of the copper mix. So I think that year they were mixing like zinc and tin, just like 5%, or maybe it was just zinc. In 43, they coated the steel with zinc. So this could be a glob of zinc. It could be a glob of steel. It could be a glob of solder that somebody was just being stupid and dipped a 44 copper penny into. Like maybe they were trying to coat it in zinc to make it look like a 44 steel, which would make it worth a lot of money. But somebody would, NGC or the other companies, they would figure that out. But I'm going to have this one looked at anyways, because I mean, it could be a valuable coin. I don't know. I might be wrong. I've been wrong a lot in my life. Wouldn't be the first time. So this is a 1900 Indian head, not in great shape, but do you see the little bumps above the words, like the little whatever they're called? That's supposed to be the edge of the coin, but there's an extra edge, and then there's no edge on this side. And this is just called an off center. It's not like a huge percentage off center, but it's enough to make it possibly worth something. I mean, normally a 1900 Indian head in this condition isn't worth a lot of money, because I mean, look at it. It's just smooth. But because it's off center, that could make it more valuable. So another example of an error. This one's in a lot better shape. Well, it doesn't really, you can't really tell too good from this video, but there's just like, I think it's called cud or something. It's just a clump of copper, in the bottom of the 9. Let me see if I can find another one with a 9 on it that's not an error. So this is another, see how there's no, see how the bottom of the 9 here is just open like it should be. This one is, you can't see it from this picture, but it's full of stuff. So that could be an error. And then I started looking at some of these old Indian heads that I got off eBay. I gotta raise it up, I think. They're so much easier to take pictures of before I put them in the little square things. But yeah, you can kind of see it because there's a reflection. I'm going to put it all the way up. Let me refocus. So this is what's called a DDO, or a double die obverse. Yeah, you can see it. You see how there's, it looks like it was stamped twice, or yeah, that's what it basically happened. And you could see it so much better before I put it in this little protective thing, but I just wanted to protect them while I was deciding what to do with them. But you can't see it that great here, but like this one, I don't think it was the date on this one. It was just the United States. Oh gosh, that's terrible. It's shaking around. I got it zoomed in so close, it's like bouncing around. And let me see if I could turn the light down a little bit. Yeah, that's not helping. Yeah, the reflection sucks when you got it in the little square things. But you could see that one. That's a double die, 1885. This is an 1883. And you could see it, but again, when it's not in the little thing, you could see it better. Some of them are stronger than others, but I found like 20 of them that were double die. Yeah, you could see it pretty good there, like the United States, the T, and it goes all the way around. Some of them, the dates were actually doubled. Not this one. No, these are kind of dirty. So, and by the way, if you ever have something you think might be valuable, and you're new to collecting coins, don't clean them. You will lose value immediately from whatever it is. I mean, there's people that talk about using, some professionals I know that do this for a living. They'll use like steam. Like people would use steam to get these clean, which I think is fine because it's just plain water. Like, but not like tap water, like the water without any stuff in it. I can't think of the word I'm looking for right now. You guys all know what I'm trying to say though. And they use it in these little steam guns, steam machines, and they just kind of steam it out. I think that people get away with that because, you know, there's gunk. Yeah, I should take some of these out just to show you how strong the double die is. You can hardly see it through this this nasty. Yeah, you can kind of see it. The A's, the A. That was an 83. This is another 83. Yeah, it's a DDO, they call it, a double die obverse, and the alternative with coins is DDR. like double die reverse. So obverse is the front of the coin, and this one, like the whole United States, is double. And it looks bad because I'm zoomed in so much. But if you look at the coin like this, it's really in good condition. Or not, it's not like perfect, but it's, you can see a couple of the diamonds in the headdress, or at least partial. I have a really cheap USB camera that I have plugged in, but it's better than nothing. So you can't see it from right here, but when you zoom in, like I made these Farkle dice. They're like oversized. So I'm just putting the coin on top of these and then adjusting the focus to get it zoomed in that close. But if you look at it further away, it's not in horrible shape. See, like that, that's pretty clean. But of course, zoomed in, and that was an 83. This is another 83. See if we can do it without zooming in so much. We'll just try it on one. And the coin collectors know what they're looking for. I mean, nope, you can't see it. So you can sort of see it if you know what you're looking for, like that U. But if you go and put another big dice under it like this, see, you can see the U is double. So that's in the T. That one's pretty good, actually. You can see that. I might have to zoom in more, but the United is all doubled. And the T up here, that's another 1883. This is another 1883. You can see that it's doubled. The U is doubled, and then it goes around just like the rest of them. So I have a theory on why. I mean, I could be wrong. This could be a common thing with 1880, 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything I've showed you right now is 1887, 1885, 1883, like 5 1883s. This could be a common thing. Yeah, see, that's pretty double, and that's pretty clear too. That's like a nice coin. The A. I could be wrong about this. This could be more common, and these may not be very valuable. I don't know. I have a theory on why I have so many that I just realized I had. If they are valuable, if you go on like some auction sites, they're getting thousands of dollars for Indian head coins that are doubled like this. And my theory is I bought a lot, a whole lot of unsearched wheat rolls is what they call them, or unsearched coin rolls. There's a lot of scammers on eBay that they're really not unsearched. They're just they're marketing them that way, just for business. It's not right, but they're calling them unsearched. So the reason I think I might have so many, like everyone I'm showing you, this is an 1882, by the way. Everyone I'm showing you is double die. I think I had 20 of them, just doubled just Indian head DDOs. And what I was going to say is the reason I think I have so many is because there was a woman, I think it was a woman in Daytona, I want to say, that I think it was 57 Chevy was her eBay account. Um, she had, I don't know, hundreds of coin rolls. And the story was on her eBay store, the story was her and her mother, unless it was a guy, then it was him and his mother. I don't remember. I don't know why I thought it was a woman. It doesn't matter. Her and her mother, or him and his mother, rolled them in the 50s. So you'd see like this coin on one end. Well, not the DDO, but you'd see something on either end, and you go, dang, there's a flying eagle on the end, or there's a 1908 S on the end of the roll, or an S on the end of the roll. It could be 8 or 9. So people were bidding like 100, 150, 200. I think I paid over $300 for a roll, which was a lot of money for 50 cents, basically. It was 50 pennies. You know, that's what guys at work with, when I told them, they're like, isn't it just 50 cents? Well, yeah, of course, it's 50 cents. There's 10 Indian heads and probably 4 wheat pennies. Sometimes there was silver dimes in there. But I honestly believe that they were unsearched. And in the 50s, even when they knew what was valuable in the 50s, and they still sort of went through all the coins, like they pulled out all the 1909 SVDB, because even in the 50s, you knew what was valuable from before that. So they went through it as they were rolling it. I'm sure they did. She never denied doing that. But they would take 40 Indian heads and or 40 wheat pennies and 10 Indian heads. Sometimes you get a flying eagle. Sometimes you get a 3-cent nickel. I have 5 of those from them, from this person. I probably bought 40 rolls myself. So my point was, in the 50s, even though they knew what was valuable then, they didn't have a USB camera that they got off eBay or Amazon like I do for $30 to zoom in and see that the United is double. Maybe you could have seen it with a magnifying glass, but there was thousands of them. I think they sold like 500 rolls of these things. I don't even remember how many they had. They had a lot though. It was every day there was 15, 20 new rolls being uploaded. And they sold them all and closed the store. And they probably made good money. But that's why I think I have 20 Indian heads that could be DDOs and they could be valuable. That's my theory for that. So, I mean, even at this, well, that one doesn't look very doubled at this zoom. So let me zoom in a little more, see why I marked this one as DDO. Yeah. Yeah, you could see it right there. It's not every letter of every on every coin, but like you could see right there the OF and the America. And you saw how clean the coin looks before you zoom in a lot, but look how bad it looks when you start zooming in. Like you could, it doesn't look good. And plus this light is terrible, dang it. But if you see, okay, this is annoying. I might have to take these out. Like you could see right there, it's like a shadow or a double. It's a double die. Yeah, you could see. Oh, that's pretty clear. See? I mean, you start zooming in. Oh, there's some cut marks or something too. You start zooming in and you see that they are double, and it's like that's what collectors want. That's what people are looking for with any coin. And that was an 1880. This one is a 85, and you can see right there it's double. So, but the reason I wanted to sell a bunch of my coins, and I have a reason. I don't really want to say what it is now because I'm stupid like that, and I'm making another video about what I'm going to do with the money. I think it's pretty cool if I can pull it off. But the reason, yeah, that's double. I forgot what I was saying now. That was an 85. This is an 83. Yeah, some of them are stronger than others. Like, I don't want to zoom in again because it looks really nasty. That was an 8. This is an 82. I mean, immediately when I throw it on there, you can see the U, the N, the I, the T, E, D. Not so much on that at this zoom, but it's not in the best shape either. But when you're not zoomed in so close, it looks better. So this is an 81. You can immediately see the doubling on the U and the T. So hopefully these are valuable. And I forgot what I just started to say before about something else, but I mean, you could see the U right there. It's double. It's an 1880. It's not a lot at that level, but 1879. So that one, I might zoom a little more on this one. Even though the light sucks, I might actually take it out. I'm going to cut one open. Just real quick. Okay, without the protective thing on, this is what it looks like. So you can, without all the reflection of the LED lights in the plastic, you can clearly see that this is a DDO. It's not in the greatest condition, but the T is double. You can see the D, the S. And that's an 1879. And the funny thing is, when you zoom back out, it doesn't look terrible. I mean, it's not in perfect condition, but when you zoom out, it's like, or when you zoom in, it gets really bad. When you zoom out, it's not as bad. It's not a great condition. My video stopped recording. I don't remember what I showed you guys that's not on video, so I'm just gonna try to make an ending here. I think I did too long of a video or something because I'm long-winded. But So I think what I wanted to say that didn't get recorded was I'm going to be sending a bunch of coins to NGC to have them graded, and these coins like this, if you look it up, it's not worth a lot of money, even in uncirculated, very good condition. Um, they have to be like flawless, and without magnifying it at all. I think I was reading yesterday that I guess the rules are like if it has something to do with how it looks at 5 times magnification, if you can't see any like surface scratches or something, that's how they decide on the grade. I don't really know how they decide on the grade, but for example, if you look at this book's out of date, but it has examples. Like if you look at this is a 56D, I think, or something. So if you look at a 56D, and you look at the most valuable in this book, it's $350 if it's graded at an MS67. So this is probably not an MS67. You can see scratches, but I don't really know how they grade it, to be honest. Like, I don't know what they use as their criteria. If you were looking at this like I am, it looks like a perfect coin, like it was just minted. So if you look at this 57D and it gets graded at MS67, this book says it's worth $1,350. There's a real good chance that the 500 coins I have that are in this kind of condition are not going to be graded at MS67. But just to give you an example, if it was graded at MS65, it's worth $15. If it was graded at MS67, it's worth $1,350. If it's graded at MS63, it's worth 30 cents. And just so you know how this works, 1 is the lowest, 70 is the highest for the grades that most of, I think all of them use now. It used to be different, but now it's a set thing that they all use, like all the grading companies. So it's 1 to 70. So an MS67 could be $1,350, but then you look at the auction and you see like a 58D at auction that was graded at MS67 at an auction in 2014 sold for $1,939. So you go from like this is probably, this could go either way, honestly. I mean, the camera's not doing it justice, but if you look at this, like, I guess the way the people grading it are, they're going to be using high expensive cameras, USB cameras and software and whatever to grade it. I mean, I don't know. This looks pretty nice. It's got a funny color to it too, like the copper was mixed wrong. You can't see it from this though, but this is like, I mean, those lines aren't scratches. Those are from the die. This coin sat in a coin roll for the last 50 years until I bought it at an auction or eBay, not a formal auction. Um, so anyways, I'm going to put a little video together about errors. This isn't about, these coins aren't about errors. These are about, well, this one's an error, I think. Nope, not that one. This one was an error. This is a 53. And if you look at the wheat stalk, it's supposed to look like that, and it looks like that. So that's technically an error. So I'm going to have errors and coins that I think are MS quality. I'm going to either drive them myself to Sarasota or ship them to NGC and have them graded. And hopefully I get back some MS66, MS67, maybe MS68 coins, and you could sell those for a lot of money. They're in demand. Everybody wants the highest quality coin possible for their collection. I didn't show you this because the first video I made shut off on its own, but if you look at the Liberty, you see in between the B and the E, there's like a glob of copper. Well, that's called a BIE error, B-I-E, because it looks like it's B-I-E. This coin, other than the fingerprint or whatever that is that started eating through it, this coin was untouched, uncirculated since 1955. It was put in coin rolls, and then it was only opened when I opened them 60, 70 years later. And I had a whole roll, and they were all 1955S in the same condition. So I'm going to have some of those graded. We'll see what we can do. I'll see what I can do with my errors. I don't want to make a whole new video again, but somehow it got cut off. I think it was long-winded anyways, like this one, but I'll put these together and this is the double die. Yeah, so you see the U, all the letters are doubled. You can see the U and the A all the way around are double. It's a DDO. So it's an 1883 Indian head double die with a few diamonds visible. Yeah, anyways. All right, I'm going to edit the video. I'll put it together, and hopefully you guys like it. Have a great day, guys.